what's up guys? In today's video we're going to talk about is now a very good time to buy real estate with the rising interest rates and inflation going like crazy, right? Toilet paper, what if it reaches $20? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna wipe our butts with leaves? I don't know. Anyways, the first thing we're gonna talk about is interest rates. So what happens if interest rates rise? Well, we expect housing prices to fall, but that's not necessarily the case. It really depends on the supply and demand, and right now there's still a shortage in housing, so we don't know if it's gonna fall or not. But one thing is for certain, interest rates in the next 1 or 2 years will probably rise 1 or 2%. That's what most people are expecting if the Fed keeps raising the interest rate by 0.5% each cycle that they have their meeting. So let's go ahead and break this down. Let's say I want to see what the effect of interest rate is on the mortgage. So I drew this nice little chart here. Let's say we're buying a $300,000 house. At a 5% interest rate, your mortgage is going to be $1,700 per month. Now, if we increase that interest rate by 1% to 6%, then your mortgage goes up $140. So it's now $1,840 per month. Now, what's really interesting is the house actually has to go down 10% in order for you to have the same mortgage payment as the 5% interest rate. So let's say our interest rate goes up in a year to 6%. Well, the house price has to drop down $30,000 or 10% in order for you to have the same mortgage payment if you locked in the 5% interest rate today. For me, it makes a lot of sense. We don't know if the housing market's going to go down 10% in the next year or so. It might, or it might just level out and go up. So why not lock in the sure thing, which is the lower interest rate now, and then have the $1,700 per month mortgage versus waiting for a year and potentially having it go up, the interest rate go up while the house price stays the same, and now you have to pay $1,840 per month. So in most cases, it's better to just lock in the lower interest rate now. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the fact that inflation erodes your debt. And what do I mean by this? Well, your mortgage payment, let's just say it's $1,000 per month. If inflation is 5% per year, for the next 10 years, 5% times 10 years is 50%, meaning the dollar is 50% cheaper in the future compared to now. Let's say you won $1 million in the lottery. Would you rather take the $1 million now, which they actually subtract a certain amount of it, so it'll be maybe like $600,000 now, or would you rather have $1 million spread over the course of 30 years? Well, I'd rather take my $600,000 now because the value of the dollar now is worth more than it will be in the future. So I'd rather take my money now, right? It's kind of like that. I think there is a TV show where he's like, give me the money, show me the money. It's the same idea. I want the money now. Maybe I'm a greedy prick, but I want the money now because, again, the dollar is going to be a lot more expensive now than in the future, where it loses its value. By the way, guys, I should explain what's behind me. So Newbie Real Estate Investing is my company. I teach others how to buy a single family home and basically rent it out by the bedroom so that they can rent it out to college students, and that's a great tenant base, and I recommend it for anyone who is trying to get into real estate investing. And I also have some pictures of my actual properties here, and then on the left side over here you have some pictures of some of the investors that actually invested with me, either through like a limited partnership or through basically I coach them through a 6-month program through how to find a single family home that will make the highest return on investment. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is the fact that rent goes up with inflation, which means that you lock in a fixed rate mortgage. Let's say it's $1,000 per month, and you're making $2,000 per month in rental income. So let's say with inflation, 5%, 10%. Let's say in 10%, it goes up 10%. Well, the rent also goes up 10% as well because it keeps up with inflation. So the first year, you're going to be making $2,000 per month in rental income. But in the subsequent years, when the inflation goes up 10%, rent goes up 10% as well. So you'll be making more like $2,200 per month in rental income. So it's better to kind of buy now, because inflation actually works in your favor as a real estate investor, your rent goes up, the value of your mortgage goes down because you pay it back in cheaper dollars, plus you probably will have some appreciation as well throughout time, and equity pay down, meaning part of the amount that you pay toward the tenant pays towards your mortgage actually goes to paying off the principal on the mortgage. So you get all those factors, and that's why real estate is more of a buy now than wait game than wait for the right time to buy. So as Arnold says, do it now, right? I don't know, that's my best Arnold expression. It's horrible, right? It's he goes like, I think it was in Predator, he's like, do it now. That's the same thing. Do it now. Buy real estate now, because in the future you're going to have, with inflation, you're going to have a cheaper mortgage, you're going to have higher rent, you're going to also have equity pay down, and your house is likely to appreciate over time. So those are all the reasons why it just makes sense for me to buy now, lock in a 5% interest rate. Even though it's a little bit on the higher side, it's actually not as high as you guys think, because in I think back in like the 1980s or something like that, interest rates were all the way up at 8 to 12%. Okay, so 5% is actually still very, very, very low, guys. Better to lock it in now versus in a year or two, we might see it climb up to 6%, 7%, maybe even 8%, because that's what the Federal Reserve is signaling that they're going to be doing soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was entertaining and also very informative for you guys. Please subscribe so that you can see my videos that come up every single week, and also like it for the YouTube algorithm so we can reach more people, so that people get into the real estate investing game and they really understand the nuances and the math behind it, so that they feel comfortable. Okay, I'm okay investing in real estate. This is actually a very feasible way to build your wealth, like it did for me. All right, I'll see you guys on the next week's video. Thank you.